Yes, sir.
Hi, Lenny. Dave, I just wanted to thank you guys for coming out here tonight and educating us on the law. As you know, I'm an attorney. I'm not a constitutional lawyer, but my question really pertains to, way back when we were in law school, we studied some of the constitutional mandates, and you can restrict a constitutional right. There's no question about that. I believe you need a compelling state interest and some kind of rational basis to do that. And I'm looking at this. New York passes a law that says you can only add 7 bullets, and Connecticut says 10. Is that kind of arbitrary? And what's your take on the challenge, a constitutional challenge?
The New York bill is being challenged because, as I understand it, Mike, you jump in here, or Dave, is that there's no gun that just holds 10, no clip that just holds 7 bullets, is my understanding. Is that what they said?
I think it's preliminary. They're saying you have to show cause for going to 7, which is particular to the New York law.
Okay.
But New York had a 10-round limit prior. They went from 10 to 7. So I mean, 10-round limit, New York was never overturned.
But what I'm saying is the rational basis for it. I mean, the people in New York, they shoot better than we do, so that's why we got 10, and they only got 6 or 7. You know, it seems to me to be very arbitrary and capricious as to how these things were arrived at.
It could have been 15, it could have been 10.
I think it's arbitrary. I think it's 10 is an arbitrary number. That's fine.
As far as New York, they were at 10, and they wanted to do something, so they went to 7.
I'm not trying to put you guys on the spot by any means, but, like I said, I really appreciate you coming out. I'm just wondering, what is your take on the success of any constitutional challenge? I mean, you know, there's a disabilities group out there now that's bringing a challenge. There's probably the NRA that's going to bring a challenge. Do you think this new bill or this new law is going to, be able to be withheld?
Here's legislator, I'm not a lawyer, but because Mike and I had this conversation today, as a matter of fact, about the constitutionality based upon the disability group who brought the action.
Yeah.
I think there's a question. Mike doesn't think there's a question on that issue, so he kind of reversed. I think the rest of the bill, the only other question I have is the fact that they have to pay a fee to have a license, to have a gun, for the license. And the argument that I make, you can't have a poll tax. That is, I can't charge you $10 to pay the town of North Haven before you vote, because you have a constitutional right to vote. That's the old poll tax. Mm-hmm. So how can I charge you a fee to own a gun other than buying the gun? The pushback I got from that issue was, well, if you can afford to buy a gun, the fee is incidental to it, and therefore it's not that big a deal. Now, I'm still of the belief if there's a constitutional challenge, it's based upon the fee, and I'm now concerned about the disability. That's, as far as the rest that we did, I think it passes, but I think those are the 2 issues. Unless they say the fee is a tax, which is what they did for Obamacare, and argue, therefore it's not a fee, it's a tax, and as a legislature, you can tax anything you want.
Well, I did hear that there was one legislator, and I don't remember his name, but he wanted 1 bullet instead of 10 or 15.
Senator Myers.
Okay, thank you. I mean, where do you kind of, that's what I'm saying, where do you get to the point where you say something is arbitrary and capricious in terms of its constitutional muster? And that, I think, is going to be kind of pivotal in this whole argument, because there's no question that people's Second Amendment rights are being restricted. At least I think so.
I think it's a good point. Go ahead, Dave.
I think they're definitely restricted, and there is, right or wrong, I think it was written for that, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. But as far as the constitutional challenge, I think it might be just on the fee for the guns. I don't think that would be hold muster. But that's the only thing I can think of. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a constitutional lawyer, but I do read the Constitution. I feel like I understand it fairly well. I think it will be upheld, except for possibly, and I don't even think that will happen either, is the fee for the gun restriction. The gun.
Okay. All right, thanks for